Welcome inside the CEC TV studios for the latest edition of Trailblazer Weekly. It was a jam-packed week last week with all of the spring sports in competition. We also got an update from spring football practice. We got all those results for you, as well as a look ahead at the next week in Trailblazer athletics. It's all coming up next, so don't go anywhere. Trailblazer Weekly starts now. Again, welcome inside this week's edition of Trailblazer Weekly. I'm your host, Carrick Segmiller. We open the show today on the baseball diamond, where the Trailblazers look for their third straight series win, with Hawaii Hilo coming to town last week for a four-game series. Dixie State opened the four-game set on Thursday, looking to start the series off on the right foot, and they did just that, scoring 9 runs on 13 hits for a 9-5 win in the opener. Tyler Hollow went 4 for 4 at the plate, while Jimmy Borzoni picked up his first win of the year on the mound. Game 2 would prove to be a slugfest as the teams combined for 34 hits and 26 runs, but the Trailblazers would eventually emerge victorious with a 14-12 win. Logan Porter went 4 for 5 at the plate with 3 RBIs, while Jaden Murray would get the win and Tanner Howell the save on the mound. Dixie State wrapped up the series with a doubleheader on Saturday, cruising to a 13-5 win in Game 3 to clinch the series win, but falling 6-3 in the series finale. Now, for his role in helping DSU to the series win, infielder Tyler Hollow was named Pac-West Freshman of the Week on Monday. Hollow hit an even .600 at the plate, 9 for 15 with 3 doubles, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs scored to help DSU to the 4 wins overall on the week in this 2-series victory, finishing up the Hawaii Pacific Series earlier in the week and then defeating Hawaii Hilo later in the week. Hollow started in 3 of 4 of the games versus Hawaii Hilo, posting a pair of 2-hit outings in the games 2 and 4. And drew a pinch hit walk with a run scored in Game 3. DSU took 3 of 4 from the Vulcans. The freshman is DSU's leading hitter so far in the season with .359 average to go with 5 doubles and 9 RBIs. He has hit safely in 7 straight and collected at least 1 base hit in 20 of 31 games played overall with 6 multi-hit outings. Congratulations to him and to the baseball team for great outings last week. We wish you all the best going forward. To the tennis court now, as the women's tennis team wrapped up a 4-match trip to Northern California last week. After a 5-4 win over Holy Names in the first match of the trip, the Trailblazers rolled to a 9-0 sweep of Mills College last Monday, dropping only 2 games the entire match. DSU continued its hunt for a perfect trip the next day, but dropped a close, hard-fought match by a 5-4 count at Stanislaus State. Dixie State bounced back on Wednesday with a 7-2 win over Dominican to improve to 7-7 on the year. DSU now has a trip to Colorado this week to help prepare for the conference championships coming up in a few weeks. The women's track team headed north on Friday for its second meet of the year, this time at the UVU Collegiate Invite in Orem, Utah. The Trailblazers competed in 12 events at the meet and totaled 14 top 15 finishes, including a pair of second-place finishes. 2 school records also fell at the meet, while 3 others set personal bests. Billy Hatch, who you see on your screen there, set the tone for Dixie State in the first running event of the day. Hatch crossed the finish line in second place and set a new school record in the 5,000 meter with a time of 19:17.10, surpassing the previous record by more than 20 seconds. Skylar Story duplicated the feat later in the day with a second place finish and new school record in the 3,000 meter steeplechase with a time of 12:05.67, eclipsing her previous record in the event by more than 25 seconds. Katie Ross set a personal best mark in the 400 meter with a time of 1:03.74, less than 1 second off the school record. Ross also made history as the first DSU runner to compete in the 200 meter, finishing with a time of 27.92. 2 Trailblazers recorded personal best mark in the 800 meter as Noah Haley logged an 11th place finish and a time of 2:28.16, while Mia Smith came in 1 spot later in 12th place with a time of 2:29.32. So a great showing for the women's track team with the UVU Collegiate Invite in Orem, Utah. They'll be back in action this week, and we'll let you know where a little bit later in the show. To the football field now, as the Trailblazers football team is winding down its spring football practice schedule. Last week, had a chance to attend a few practices to get some highlights as well as some comments on this year's spring practices from head coach Shay McClure. We've all put it together in one fantastic little video piece here. We hope you enjoy it. Let's roll the tape. Spring football practice.
With 2 new coordinators, 4 new coaches, implementing some new systems, it really is a different spring than last year, probably very similar to the year before, where it's a lot of install, it's a lot of terminology changes, it's getting the guys on the same page, and then obviously, those young men that redshirted for us last year, getting them caught up to let them go compete with the guys that did play for us, along with those mid-year transfers that we brought in. It's always the same goal for us, and that's creating identity, and who are we going to be, and the things that we believe in as a coaching staff, getting those across to the young men that we're going to compete, we're going to play a physical brand of football, and we're never going to back down from any situation.
Trailblazers close their spring schedule on Saturday at 2 p.m. with a spring game at Trailblazer Stadium. It is open to the public, so come on out again this Saturday, April 7th, 2 p.m. at Trailblazer Stadium for the annual spring football game. It'll be a game-style format. Should be a good time, again, free to the public. So look forward to seeing as many people as want to come out to that on Saturday at the stadium. To the golf course now, as the women's golf team played to a fourth place finish, at the Colorado State Pueblo Pack Spring Invite Monday at the Walking Stick Golf Club in Pueblo. As a team, the Trailblazers posted their lowest 18-hole score of the season on the final day with a 12 over 300 to move up one spot on the team leaderboard at plus 35, 611 for the tournament. Dixie State junior Katie Ford claimed the individual win at the tournament and was named Pacific West Conference Women's Golf Player of the Week for the third time this season on Thursday after she collected her second collegiate tournament victory. Ford fired consecutive rounds of 1 under 71 to win the event by one shot and helped lead DSU to a fourth-place team finish. She led the field in par 4 scoring, was third in total birdies, and finished tied for fourth in par 3 scoring and total pars. The medalist win was her 4th top 10 finish of the season and her 8th collegiate top 10 finish overall. So congratulations to Katie and the women's golf team on a great finish. They will be in action next week in New Mexico. We stay on the golf course now as the men's golf team headed to California for the UC San Diego Southern California Intercollegiate last week. Dixie State posted its second straight runner-up team finish and its 5th consecutive top 3 result overall. The Trailblazers placed second at the tournament. DSU combined to shoot a final round 6 over 294 to finish the event at plus 18, 882. 4 Trailblazers wound up in the top 12 on the leaderboard, led by sophomore Jace Frampton, who fired an even par 72 on his final loop to tie for 4th place individually. Senior Dalton Stanger also posted a top 10 showing at plus 5, 221 to finish tied for 9th overall, followed by junior Nicholas Britt in solo 11th place at plus 6, 222. Freshman Spencer Wallace tied for 12th at plus 7, and freshman Landon Anderson tied for 39th place at plus 15, 231. Trailblazers currently sit in third place heading into day 2 at the 2018 Western New Mexico Mustang Intercollegiate. That's being hosted in Arizona. That first round was yesterday on Monday. The second and final rounds will be today. We'll have those final results for you on DixieStateAthletics.com. We'll also cover them next time on the show. Back to the Diamond now and the softball team as we wrap up our last week's recap with the 5th-ranked Trailblazers. The Trailblazers returned to Carl Brooks Field for a 6-game homestand last week against Azusa Pacific and at Biola. DSU opened the home stretch with a doubleheader versus APU on Wednesday, cruising to an 8-0 win in 5 innings in Game 1 before dropping a 21-19 marathon in Game 2. Trailblazers bounced back with a doubleheader sweep over APU on Thursday, 7-2 and 15-1 wins to clinch the series win. DSU kept things rolling with a 9-1 5-inning win in Game 1 over Biola on Saturday, but couldn't get the bats going in Game 2 and fell 6-3. For their efforts on the week, Janessa Bassett was named Pac-West Player of the Week on Monday, while Cambry Hazel was named Pac-West Pitcher of the Week. Bassett lands her 3rd Pac-West Player of the Week award with the honor, hitting .625. That's 10 of 16 at the plate with 8 RBIs, 3 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run to lead the Trailblazers to that 4-2 record last week. She also recorded a .750 on base percentage, logging 20 total bases and 14 runs scored. She was also successful on a 5 of 6 stolen base attempts. Bassett currently leads the Pac-West in triples, runs scored, and ranked 2nd in slugging percentage, on base percentage, and stolen bases. Hazel, who was also garnered Freshman of the Week honors this season, earns her 3rd Pac-West Pitcher of the Week award. Hazel went 3-0 last week with a 0.41 ERA, allowing just 1 earned run in 17 innings pitched. She logged 11 strikeouts and held opposing batters to a 145 batting average. Hazel also tossed her 3rd no-hitter of the season in the series opener against Azusa Pacific on Wednesday. So congratulations to the softball team on a good week, and as well to Janessa and Cambry for their individual honors. It's time for a break. We'll have more Trailblazer Weekly right after this timeout.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
There we are. Hi, I'm Eric Young.
And I'm Jennifer Kohler.
And this is, we're coming to you right before our show that we go live with Talking Point Live. And we just wanted to tell you to make sure you join us Wednesdays at 9:30, live coming to you from the studios of the CEC here on the campus of Dixie State University.
Yeah, and you can catch the rebroadcast at 9:30 when we're not live, and 12:30 and 4:30. Daily, weekly.
Daily? This is like way too much,
yeah.
I think. But just in case you got something better to do,
yeah,
there's all those times you can catch it as well. Also, you can catch us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/TalkingPointLive and on the CEC YouTube channel. All right, see you there.
We're basically very catchable.
Well, you are.
Take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
Welcome back inside the CEC TV studios and this week's edition of Trailblazer Weekly. Most of the spring sports are in action again this week, so let's take a look at where they're at and who they'll be competing against. Feel free to follow along on your screen as we get you up to date on what's going on this week. Of course, we mentioned men's golf is in Arizona right now. They will finish up their final round of the Western New Mexico Mustang Intercollegiate on later this afternoon on Tuesday, then into Wednesday, as you can see on your screen, as we look ahead through the next week. Softball opening up a 6-game trip. They'll open that up with a non-conference doubleheader at Cal State East Bay. That will start at noon Pacific time, so 1 p.m. Mountain time here in St. George. And again, at Cal State East Bay, the non-conference doubleheader before they pick things up a little later in the week. Into Thursday, women's tennis opens their trip to Colorado. They'll be at Colorado Christian. That match will start at 11 a.m. on Thursday. Baseball will open its homestand against Fresno Pacific in a 4-game set on Thursday at 6 p.m., a single game on Thursday. Moving into Friday, women's track will be at the Utah/Weber State hosted Spring Classic. One day will be in Salt Lake City, the next day in Ogden, Utah. That starts on Friday. Softball back to Pac-West Conference action with a doubleheader at Holy Name starting at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Baseball will then have a doubleheader Friday evening starting at 4 p.m. against Fresno Pacific at Bruce Hurst Field. It'll be a last chance to see the Trailblazers at home for quite a while, so you want to get out and see one of those, or why not all 4 of those baseball games throughout this weekend. Moving into Saturday, a busy day Saturday, the second day of the Utah/Weber State Spring Classic for the women's track team. Baseball will close up their 4-game series against Fresno Pacific. A first pitch set for noon at Bruce Hurst Field. And then softball wrapping up their trip in San Rafael, California at Dominican with a doubleheader, Pac-West doubleheader. That will start at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. For those softball games on the road, you can find all the live stat links at DixieStateAthletics.com and also live video links where possible. We'll keep you updated as to how you can watch and follow along with those games. Women's tennis will also be in Lakewood, Colorado to take on Colorado State Pueblo at 3 p.m. on Saturday. Moving into Sunday, women's tennis will finish their trip at Metro State Denver in Denver at 9 a.m. Sunday morning. And then into the next week, Monday and Tuesday, as you see on your screen, women's golf at Goodyear, Arizona at the Western New Mexico Mustang Intercollegiate. That's basically the same tournament that the men's team is at yesterday and today on Monday and Tuesday, but it'll be the women's turn next Monday and Tuesday on April 9th and 10th. So that is this week's schedule. And we'll have all those results for you next time on Trailblazer Weekly, as you can also follow along on DixieStateAthletics.com as we post those stories just as soon as we get the results in and get them online as quickly as we can. That will do it for today's show. We'll remind you that you can catch all episodes of Trailblazer Weekly on demand on the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, specifically at youtube.com/Dixie State Athletics, where you can watch the show anytime, anywhere. I'm Carrick Segmiller. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Trailblazer Weekly.